Working with a metronome is something that every guitarist is hopefully going to have to grapple with at some point in their guitar playing journey. So whether you're an experienced player who's been starting to dabble with playing with a metronome, or whether you're a beginner and you're just starting out and you feel like working with the metronome is something that you need to get better at, this is what today's video is all about. I'm going to share with you 4 very practical ways to work with a metronome, as well as break down some exercises that you can do to help strengthen this skill yourself. So let's dive in. The first thing that we want to prioritize is something called quarter notes. Now, quarter notes are called quarter notes because they last for 1 beat, and therefore you can fit 4 of them into a bar of 4/4. If you aren't familiar with 4/4, it is the most common time signature in at least Western music, and it goes like this. So if the song is going like this, I would be tapping my foot every time I'm snapping my finger. So 1, 2, 3, 4. However, for this first example, I'm going to show you a significantly easier way at a slower tempo to kind of work on this. I'm going to set my metronome here at about 88 beats per minute. I'll turn it on there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick 2 chords. I'm going to pick 2 chords that I'm going to switch between. So let's say, for example, I'm switching between C and A minor. Those tend to be friendly chords. So my C chord looks like this, if you aren't already familiar with the C chord. And then my A minor chord looks like this. Now, for this exercise, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play my metronome 88 beats per minute, if you want to play along with me here, if you have your guitar nearby. And what we're going to do is we're going to strum every single quarter note, and we're going to play 1 bar of C and then 1 bar of A. So with this, what I want you to think about, we want to downstroke every single time. And you just want to try and play like, people don't seem to play this game anymore, but you want to think like Guitar Hero. You're trying to catch the chords on the click of the metronome. So here, 2, 3, 4. Then A minor. So on and so forth. If you want to get fancy, you can add extra chords to that, but basically what you're doing here is you want to do this for long enough that you can kind of feel like you get into the ease and into the groove of it. One thing that I find a lot of students tend to do when working with a metronome is they start to rush. And what that sounds like is you get to the note before the click. And if you find yourself kind of playing out of time with the click, it tends to be because you're rushing a little bit. Now, the best way to kind of counteract that is try to picture like you're leaning back on the metronome almost. Try to catch it a little bit late. And if you try to catch it a little bit late, because the natural tendency of people who haven't worked with a metronome very much is to rush, you will end up playing in time. If you're trying to play late, you'll end up rushing and you'll play in time. And again, a great trick for this is to just keep doing it for like a minute or 2 minutes at a time till it really kind of sinks in and you feel steady. Now, the next kind of rhythmic breakdown is something that we would call a subdivision. And now a subdivision is where we break things down smaller than what we did before. So we're going to keep the metronome at the same time, but now we're going to play in 1/8 notes with the metronome. Now, 1/8 notes are called 1/8 notes because you can fit you could fit 8 of them in a bar of 4/4. And the way that we would count these is rather than before we were going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. What we're going to do here is we're going to count 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and the important thing to note here is that I am going down, up, down, up, down, up, down. It is a crucial rule of strumming for the guitar that pretty much without exception, if the note is on 1, 2, 3, or 4, it's a downstroke, and if it's on the and, it is going to be an upstroke. So now, here's what this would sound like with the metronome. So here we go. We'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Keep it going. Now here I'm going to take a brief pause and just bring up the fact that you can do this same thing with scales that you're working on. So say I was practicing the A minor pentatonic scale. This is what it would sound like in quarter notes. So again, I'm playing a click on I'm playing 1 note on every click here. So if I would go 1, 2, 3, 4, If I did eighth notes, now I'm playing 2 notes for every click, it would sound like this. And again, crucial here is going to be alternate picking. So down on 1, 2, 3, 4, up on all of the ands. So that would sound like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... If you find you have to slow down the metronome for working in eighth notes, that is totally okay. Now, this next exercise, I'm calling every other eighth note, and this one tends to be a lot harder, but it comes with a bit of a visualization exercise to try with this, and that is going to be trying to play on the ands, and only the ands. So in our our right hand, or our picking hand, I should say. If you're left-handed, it's going to be your left hand. But in your strumming or picking hand, you want to play only upstrokes, and what I want you to try and visualize when you do this is like you're dribbling a basketball. So the click is the ball hitting the floor, and you want to play when the ball bounces back up into your hand. So again, if I was to the metronome, it would be and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So here's the same thing, but I'll play it and see if it makes some sense to you. 3, 4. I'm gonna leave the notes long, because if I do them short, it starts sounding like ska pretty quick. The same thing can work with scales, where it would be, now I'm going to actually alternate pick between these notes, just because when we're playing single notes, it's always best to be alternate picking. But now I'll do the same thing where rhythmically I'm trying to play against the metronome. It's kind of like we're having an argument. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 4, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to run you through 2 what I would call mixed rhythms, and this mixes quarter notes and eighth notes with the metronome. And now here, the first one I'm going to show is going to be 1, 2, 3, and 4 and, or down, 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 up when we're strumming. So now that's going to sound like this. I'm just going to strum it, and then I'll bring in the C major and A minor. But so breaking this down, we would get 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. So there's that. Now this same pattern we can apply to our scales, but again I'm going to alternate pick the whole thing. But I want to play that rhythm while still going through the A minor pentatonic scale. So that would sound like this. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 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 1. So that mixed rhythm can apply to both. Now I'm going to give you another mixed rhythm, and this one is going to be 1, 2, and 3, 4 and. So if I'm strumming, that's going to be down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up. And again, that would sound like this with the metronome, and here's me strumming some chords. 2, 3, 4. Here's me doing it with the scale. Flubbed it a little bit at the end there, but that's okay. And now the final kind of combined mixed rhythm that I want to share with you is going to be 1 and 3 and 4. 1 and 3 and 4. So this one's going to be the trickiest because there's nothing on 2. So I'm going 1, 2, and 3 and 4. 1, 2, and 3 and 4. So down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down. Here is that rhythm. So down, up, down, up, down. 2, 3, 4, 1 and 3 and 4, 1, 2 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 and 3 and 4. So that is fantastic. Now let's do that same pattern, but this time with the scales. We'll get 3, 4, 1, 2, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, 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 1. So there is a great way to kind of work on practicing with the metronomes. In terms of rhythm that you can do with the metronome, that is just scratching the surface, but I just wanted to give you kind of a comprehensive guide to it. Again, the best way to work on this is to just keep working on it until you're just kind of like in the zone and it feels like you couldn't screw it up if you tried. You want to just kind of get immersed in it and try to keep it as even and level as possible. So if you enjoyed this video, I'd really appreciate it if you could like and subscribe. It really helps me out more than you could know. If you want to take a guitar lesson with me, there's a link to get in touch with me down in the description. I would love working with all of you who find me through YouTube. I've got students and friends all over the world now, so I'd love to see you in a guitar lesson coming up. If you're looking for a different way to support me and what I do, you can subscribe to my Patreon page, which is linked down below. All of my patrons get early access to videos as well as cool behind-the-scenes sneak peeks. That's stuff that I don't post anywhere else. You also get access to diagrams from videos so that you can have them to aid your practice. You can also enjoy a little bit more direct line of communication with me. I also have some video courses and an ebook for sale, which are also linked down in the description. It's a great way to get some more in-depth educational content from me than I can go into in a 10 to 15 minute YouTube video. And last but not least, I have new videos coming out every single week, so I hope I'll see you in the next one. And until I do, I wish you a wonderful day, and I hope you have some fun playing the guitar. Thanks.